What's your baseball philosophy? What got you so far?
You know, I think it's pretty cliche, but it's down to a lot of hard work. The ability to try and want to do a little bit extra than the next guy. Fortunately, I got a great situation at home where my wife allows me to get out and play as long as I can play. There's no pressure to make money or do anything else. It's all about just trying to be a part of this journey and try to get as far as I can.
Now, first round draft picks, half of them make the major leagues, but a lot of them get passed up by guys drafted in the 50th round. Why is that?
It's the draft is kind of you're just going based on talent and what guys can project to be, and sometimes a guy who's not as talented on paper might have a little bit more of the internal intangibles that it's hard to scout, and guys are a little hungrier too. They're not given as much beginning part of their career, and have to earn a lot more.
Now every year, every organization brings in more guys, take their spot. They bring in free agents, they sign more guys. How do you approach that?
It's so hard to get. You don't want to get caught up in what's going on around you. There's still a team approach to this game, but at the same time, you need to be concerned with what you're doing as an individual, and my work and how I perform on the field. It's really hard not to pay attention to it, but at the same time, if I just do my job and control what I can control, all the other stuff, doesn't really affect me.
Now, baseball is a game of the ups and downs, and the organization and the injuries and all that. Has there ever been a time that you wanted to give it up?
I never got to that breaking point yet. I do remember though back in AA in 2007, I looked up the scoreboard about 3 months into the season. I was sitting at 155 and really struggling hard, really pressing and grinding really hard. And unfortunately, my AA manager at the time sat me down and said, you're going to take these next 2 days off. You're not allowed to put on spikes. You're not allowed to go to the batting cage. You're not allowed to touch a baseball bat. You're not going to play these 2 days in a row. And I want you to sit back and just watch the game of baseball, and taking those 2 days and just kind of watching the game and enjoying it from like a fan's perspective, kind of how I was when I was coming up, taking myself out of it and the grind of the at-bats. It kind of made me remember the joy of the game and having the love of watching it and the purity of baseball, and those 2 days were huge for me.
Did you read the sports pages and what people wrote about you, where you're listed in the Baseball America and all that stuff?
I don't know necessarily read it, but I have friends and family who kind of keep me informed and shoot me articles from time to time. So I know what's out there. I know what's been said about me and my career, and where I stand in the organization and whatnot. And once again, it's stuff that I really can't control. I can't control other people's opinions and what people think, and all I can do is try to change minds and get out on the field and play as well as I can and do my best.
How do you, as a catcher, how do you handle the umpires?
Handling umpires is kind of similar to how I handle a pitching staff. You got to kind of know the guy, and it's kind of like being a little bit of a psychiatrist back there. You kind of got to know which guys you can push, which guys got to stay off of. Who's got a short temper, who you can have a conversation with. Most of the umpires in this league, the PCL, are really good guys, and the thing about minor league umpires is that sometimes we forget as minor league players is that they're trying to get to the same place we are. So they're not out there trying to screw anybody or mess up calls or anything like that. They're human, and just like I strike out or I miss a block or I don't get the guy in from third base, they're going to miss balls and strike calls. They're going to miss calls on the bases. But at the end of the day, they're working hard to get to where we are too. So I try to stay off them for the most part, give them most of them the benefit of the doubt, and I have a pretty good working relationship with all of them.
What would you tell a high school kid about professional baseball you learned the hard way that nobody told you about?
Well, I think the hardest thing you learn really quick is just how taxing it is on you physically and mentally. It's a long season, it's a grind. It's 150 some games, and only a handful of days off. You're busting from city to city, and early wake up calls, and it's tough on your body. So I had to learn how to take care of your body, and spend more time in the weight room and a lot more training room work, icing and maintenance like that. And the other thing I tell somebody is just be prepared for how tough it's going to be just being away from your family and your loved ones, and invest in a good cell phone plan because you're going to be on that a lot. So It's tough. It's tough, but you know, I've been fortunate to be in the major leagues for almost 2 years now, and you know, it's worth it when you get there.